stepping is an art, but an art form in its own way. It's kind of a loud, thrash, intense art. One thing I really like about stepping is that you can make different kinds of noises with your body, which is not like, music, but that's what kind of makes it its own kind of art form, especially knowing the history from where it's come and knowing that what people are able to do with it today. I'm sure people back then would be so proud and so happy to see, like, wow, I didn't know I could do that, Right now, for this academic year, I'm the president of the MUNU chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So I've been a member since last spring. When I was younger, I grew up in this town called Irvington in New Jersey, and I didn't really have that great of a father figure. When I went to my elementary school, I was kind of getting into a lot of trouble. I was kind of an outcast, didn't really have a lot of dependable people in my life. And one of my teachers, his name was Mr. Taylor, he was a member of Phi Beta Sigma, but I didn't know. At that point, he just my mentor, and then he invited me to this subsidiary of Phi Beta Sigma called Sigma Beta Club. And I got more involved in all of that, and I created this brotherly bond with all the other students and all the kids who were in the program. Kept us with great grades, kept us out of trouble. And with that, I just realized that, I kind of like this system. And from elementary school, I stuck with it. And then when it came to college, I already knew what kind of organization I wanted to get involved with. These organizations are not, you put your 4 years in and you're kind of done. One thing I like about Phi Beta Sigma is that this is kind of a lifetime thing. Like my brother, during my 4 years here, is going to be my brother 40 years from now. My last step competition, I was with one of my brothers, and he was telling me about 2 hours before the show started, I'm so nervous. I'm like, calm down. But I realized this before all the step performances I give, every last one, whether it's just me, whether it's on the stage, whether we're on a flat piece of land where we're just performing for friends, every time, like 2 minutes before each performance, I'm very, very nervous. But it's once I finally realize that I'm with everyone on the stage, once I realize that I'm like 1/5 of the performers, 1/10 of the performers, or 1/2 of the performers, I realize that now all the attention is on me, and I realize that I'm part of a whole. All of those factors kind of contribute to just taking away any type of stress or anxiety that I may have prior to performing. I guess with any performance, knowing that you can practice as much as you can, but game time is different from practice time. One phrase I like to live by is practice how you perform how you practice. But you have to understand that when you're performing with anything, it's a living performance. So things may not be concrete. Sometimes the music might be on time. Sometimes you might be holding your arms up a lot longer than you expect to. But I guess the hardest part really is when you're finally out there, just not getting kind of carried away with the crowd. In Virginia, there are definitely a ton of Divine Nine organizations and even step organizations and organizations that's just performing, but they're very scarce around like Southwest Virginia or Blacksburg, like centric region for sure. I really do enjoy stepping, like the history of it, knowing that it developed from West Africa. Stepping has come a long way. Even through the 1960s, it was a very huge deal. And I know that seeing it today, maybe all over the country, including Southwest Virginia, be a very good sight to see. Everyone in my chapter, the MUNU chapter here at Virginia Tech, we all have personal relationships with everyone in every single fraternity or sorority here that's in the Divine Nine. The differentiating factor between all of them is their morals and what they stand for, how they recruit, who they recruit. Of course, there are the stereotypes that go, but all in all, every single organization looks for people who uphold their morals. I guess my favorite part about stepping is when you can really hear the beat or the sounds that are being made. Like you can kind of gauge the repetitiveness or the tempos. That's what makes it art to me, like knowing you can kind of understand it. If it's too abstract, if it's just a bunch of clapping and stomping, then it becomes people just making noise. I guess it's art to everyone in different kinds of ways. Some people just stop and stare in awe and might not take anything from it, and that may be fine, but the way I step and the way I want to portray my stepping, people will kind of take something away from it. And I know it's hard to put it in words or layman's terms, but I guess it's only something you can truly understand once I actually step with everyone.